This is the moment officers from Russia's domestic intelligence agency, the FSB, came for Ivan Safronov on his way to his new job at Russia's space agency Roscosmos. Many years a defense correspondent, he's accused of treason, allegedly passing state secrets back in 2017 to check intelligence about Russian arms deals, a charge he says he's not guilty of. Journalist colleagues who came out to protest his arrest in Moscow detained one by one. Yelena Chernenko had worked with him for years.
I believe that Ivan is a very good person and he would never commit treason, sell state secrets to another country, especially to a NATO country. He is a patriot.
Last week was a bad week for journalists. Svetlana Prokopyeva found guilty on Monday of justifying terrorism for writing an editorial in which she said the Kremlin's crackdown on political dissent might have led a teenage suicide bomber to target a regional FSB office. Though she was let off jail time, she has to pay instead a £5,500 fine.
Not only in the ministries, but also...
Andrei Soldatov, who has written a number of books on the workings of Russia's secret service, says it signals a new level of repression against journalists.
This guy, Ivan Safronov, he spent his life in journalism, 10 years, covering the military-industrial complex and arms sales. Very sensitive thing for Putin personally and for the Kremlin. And now we got this message that now it's off limits. You cannot do that. You cannot cover these things. You cannot write about these things anymore.
Because the FSB will stop you. Big Brother is still watching. Obviously, the levels of state repression now are entirely different to how they were in Soviet times. But what has become increasingly clear over the 20 years that President Putin has been in power is the extent to which the men in that building have come to control the entire apparatus of the state and everything that happens in Russia. As a defense correspondent, Safronov had followed in his father's footsteps. In 2007, Ivan Safronov Sr. had mysteriously fallen from a window just as he was about to publish an investigation into the sale of prohibited weapons by Russia to Iran via Belarus. Last summer, the detention of another journalist, Ivan Golunov, on bogus drugs charges sparked large protests. The police eventually dropped the charges. The FSB is a very different entity, and once it's locked onto its targets, it does not tend to let them go. The trial will be held behind closed doors. That means the public will have to take the court's word for it on whether Safronov did betray state secrets or just acted as any journalist would. Diana Magnay, Sky News, Moscow.